Welcome everyone to session number 9. Today our discussion is about setting of targets. In the previous lesson we have learned about targets and we have learned some tips about the targets. For now we would like to understand that how to set target for key performance indicators. And our today lesson is belong to step second, as we have mentioned that in monitoring and evaluation department we will have monitoring, evaluation, learning and accountability plan, and for this purpose we will carry out these steps, and this is the last session of the step second that we will discuss today, and then we will jump to step 3. So today we will have a very good discussion about the setting of the targets. As we have mentioned before that setting of the target is very tricky. It's very powerful exercise, and we cannot use feeling during of the setting of the targets, and we cannot use like that we will be very optimistic, we will have a very good feeling, we set very high target, so that will be very wrong idea, or if we like as pessimistic, we will set target too low. So like as an aiming expert, we will set target by a good decision, and we will use data. Through data we can use through data usage we can set our targets. So here we cannot use feeling to set a target, and feeling is forbidden in the aiming during of the setting of the targets. So if we set target through feeling, that will be biases and it will be assumption, and that will be not a realistic target that we will achieve. So through target setting we will use data, not feeling. This line, this is good. Why here we have baseline? We know that when we use the word baseline and when we have baseline, so generally with indicators we have targets and baseline. So be practice to set a final target for a project or for every key performance indicators. We must understand about baseline. Baseline is the status that exists before of the project intervention, to understand that what should we do to bring change, and how many activities we will carry out, for example. So this will be on the project level, and we will conduct baseline study for every key performance indicators. Our key performance indicators are the head of the monitoring, evaluation, accountability and learning plan, because without key performance indicators we will not be able to achieve our progress. So it's very important that for every performance indicators, for every key performance indicators, we will have baseline, and then we will set targets. So for example, here we have one indicators, and that is measured by percentage, and the indicator is very good indicators. Percentage of children who receive vitamin A supplements, and this is our key performance indicators. and for example we set target 20%, or then we have informed by the health department that WHO organization, World Health Organization, already distributed vitamin E supplement to 20% of the children in that area. So in this case, we must understand about the baseline, and then we will set our final target. So for this purpose, that the WHO distributed vitamin supplement in that area 20%, so we cannot set our target 20%. We will set target more than 20%. We can set target 30 or 40 or 50 or any things that belong to our budget, our resources. So the target will be higher than 20%. And we have three ways to set a baseline. It's very important to set a baseline before of the setting of the final target. The first way to set a baseline, that is by finding an existing reliable data source. It's very important. It is really a good method, a good way to set a baseline. Therefore, it will avoid from usage of our resources. We will not have more expenses. We will not develop a form, a questionnaire. We will not hire data collectors. We will not design database. We will have very reliable data from reliable data sources, and that they have already worked in this area, like as for example WHO and different governmental organization or agencies, that they have worked already in that project that you will implement for the community or for that area. So this is very good practice, that to take data from a reliable data source. The second step, that if we did not find and we were not able to hand over this data from a reliable source, so we must collect data from our own self. Therefore, we will develop questionnaire. We will train data collector in enumerators, for example. We will design a database. We will hire all the data collectors, and then we will train, and then we will allocate resources, and then we will set deadline, and we will collect data, and then we will have analysis and dissemination and reportings. So it is very time consuming, and we will use our resources by collecting data, but we must have baseline for every key performance indicators. Also, we can start it by zero. If that project present or provide new services, your baseline may be zero. It's very good, and it's also very cost effective, that you implement a new project that people of you, any organization, have not implemented a baseline for your key performance indicators. Anyway, beside of this, that you will have information about historical trends. It's very important. For example, we had projects that we have implemented, for example, in education sector, and we had, for example, 30%. We have set it 30% school enrollment. For example, this was one of our key performance indicators in our education project, and we have implemented this project, for example, 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, and for now we will have also same project. So now we have asked about baseline from an education department. They will say that you have implemented the project 7 years ago, and the school enrollment was reported 50%. So after you, the people encourage and they learn the importance of the education. So there is no donor, there is no, for example, any other party or agency. People from their own side send their children to schools to learn. So the school enrollment has reported, for example, 2 years ago, uh, for example, uh, 40%, or 1 year ago, for example, that was 60%, for example. And and now that you would like to implement this project, for example, in 2023, the people enrollment is now that in 2022 the school enrollment was reported, for example, 65%. And we know that the people get project and motivation. So for 2023, the school enrollment will be 70%. So in this case, you cannot set your target as you have collected the baseline data 30%. And here you will have information about the historical trends. It's very important that you will have information about the and you will collect historical trends about your key performance indicators. So for now, if you set, for example, target 70% school enrollment, that will be not a good, realistic and ambitious, for example, target. So for this purpose, you can set a very good target. For example, you will say that 95% or 100% student enrollment in the school. In this case, that will be a good target. And if you set 70%, that will be not a good target for your side, because if you implement a project or not, people will be enrolled to school, for example, 70%, because we have historical trends here. We have studied that people from their own side, they understand the importance of the education, and they send their children to schools. So the we will set ambitious targets, and for target setting, we must have baseline. In beside a baseline, we will have historical trends, and then we will set our final targets. Also, we will consider other source of information as well during of the setting of the targets. That is the first source is expert opinion. It's really important to take their idea, because they know about everything. They know about the context, and they will help with you to set a very good and very realistic targets. Beside of this, that you have history, you have historical trends, you have baseline data, and then you have set targets. So you will take the opinion and idea of the expert. So this is very good practice during setting of the target. The second step is research finding our previous project use. For example, we have implemented a project in the we would like to implement a project in the education sectors, and we would like to have, for example, community-based education classes in one of the province of Afghanistan, or uh, any other country, any other area. And already an organization implemented a project in the education sector, and they have carried out all these activities. So in this case, you will ask that I have set this target. Could I hit the target? Could I achieve this target or not? So they will explain that you will achieve this target, for example, because they will say some reason that the people have more interests with this activity, or for example they will tell you that you cannot achieve this target in this time or in this certain time, therefore you will not find, for example, participants, for example you will not find a good trainer. So the different issue they will tell you, this is good, they will give hints about this, that you can reach the target you or not. So this is very important to research finding in that the previous project have used. For example, stakeholder expectation in third countries, in third world. For example, there is the project how already designed, and there is the stakeholder expectations. So in some cases, donor beneficiaries will tell you that about the targets, and you will not have your own role, and you must work on the stakeholder expectation, especially donors, that you will receive, for example, 4,000 or 3,000 uh, students uh, to learn in CB classes, for example, in 2022 in 2023, for example. So here this is very important that the stakeholder expectation is also one of the side of the setting of the targets. Uh, the stepper that is very important and you must consider, that is the project budget. So project budget plays significant role, and for example you would like to distribute 80,000 mosquito nets, so we have plan, but we have budget for 40,000. So we will set our target 40,000, not 80,000, because we don't have enough budget for 80,000. As we said that the target is a commitment that we give to different stakeholders, that we will achieve it in the certain time. So it's very important to analysis our budget, that you have the budget or not. So if you did not access to all these informations, one of this is very important uh, to the above sources that I have explained it step by steps. So in this case that you find, for example, you are not able to find an expert, and there was not an organization to give you information, and you cannot do research. So for this purpose, it is a really good idea that you will get more information, you will collect more information, and then that you get complete knowledge about that area and your project in your stakeholders, then you can set targets. So through these steps you can set targets. Thank you.